What is up, everyone? Let me ask you a question. How many back buttons or paddles do you think is too many to have on a controller? Is it 4, 6? Well, the controller I'm going to go over has 8 back buttons. That's right, 8 back buttons for the ultimate pro controller that no one asked for, but everyone needs. When I first saw this controller, I didn't think it was real or even possible. But Get a Grip Gaming has developed a proprietary controller called the Ocha, which features 8 back buttons along with many different features. A few things to note about Get a Grip Gaming is they're out of Ohio in the United States, so the shipping and processing time is extremely quick. After placing my order, in just 4 days, I received this controller, and that's by far the quickest I've ever received a customized controller. Now, before I go over this controller and talk to you guys about my experience with it, I want to show you guys their website tool where you could go on and build your controller, change different colors, and customize your controller to your liking. So let's check that out. So here is the website, Get a Grip Gaming. And if you just scroll down here, you have your customized controller builder, and we could start off building our controller. So with the front shell, we'll just build the same controller that I have here. We'll do the orange. The touchpad, I kept it as black. With the trim, I had it orange. I did the joysticks also orange, and I did the black reins. As you can see, it's very nice, immersive. Builder. You could take the controller and switch it around to see how it looks. So the bumpers I did, I believe, black, and no, the triggers I did orange and black, something like this, right? And the back shell I also did orange. And here is the feature for the add-ons, and this is where you would add on the back paddles. And here you have the option for 8, 4, or 2 paddles. If you think the option for 4 paddles is just too many, you can add on 2 paddles. And then you also have the option to do your traditional 4 paddles. Most of the Pro controllers nowadays come. And here's the feature for the 8 buttons. So you would select that. And then you also have the option for Hall effect joystick. Yes. I definitely would recommend that you get the Hall effect ones. As you know, you will avoid stick drifts and it's just smoother. So you would go yes on the Hall effect. Tactical face buttons. So this is the option where your buttons are clicky. The front buttons and the D-pad. So I picked this yes. Tactical bumpers and triggers. And here it's good that it has a description. Bumpers and triggers will feel and sound like mouse clicks. So this is a definitely yes, especially for the FPS game, which I will assume that you're building this controller for. Controller haptics, don't really need that. Built-in microphone cables, yes. Built-in speaker, yes. And then you could also leave a note for the builders. So this controller comes overclocked out of the box, meaning it's pre-configured to deliver enhanced performances right from the start with fast response times, reduced input lag, and it gives you a competitive edge without the need for manual tweaks. So basically it's ready to go out of the box. And there's a lot of more interesting things coming out from Get a Grip Gaming, such as controller color options, repair upgraded services, interchangeable joysticks, USB-C cables, stickers, etc. Once you add your controller to the box and checkout, there's an option for a discount code, and if you enter gamer to know, you'll get an additional 5% off your purchase. So if you're purchasing, make sure you do that. So if you check out here, the product comes with a 1-year limited warranty from the date of the purchase. The return policy is 14 days after you received your controller. So it's pretty standard, but again, if something was to go wrong with the controller, you have 1 year for them to repair it. And if you live outside of the US, you could still purchase the controller. You will just probably incur extra costs for the shipping. Now, let's talk about the controller. When I first received this controller, I actually reached out to the CEO and I just told him how impressed I was with just the build quality and my first initial gameplay with it. One of the best features I think of this controller are these triggers. Now just check them out. You see, they activate. You could you barely push it and they activate right away. By far the best triggers in the game. I've tested many different controllers on this channel, and I'll tell you guys right away that these are the best triggers I've ever used. And you also have the bumpers that are clicky. Now, as in the website I showed you guys, I did do the tactical buttons, which are these. They're also clicky. As for the joysticks, if you guys are using something like this, like a Game Freak, I would suggest that you order the original white joysticks, just because when I put these on and I took them off, they deteriorated here a little bit. So the stock ones will be your best option. But I did hear that Get a Grip Gaming will be offering extended joysticks that you could add on to the controller, such as other controllers that you may seen that they come off and you could put them back on. So that's something to look out for. So the idea is that you could map these 4 buttons and these 4 directional buttons all to the back buttons of the controller. That way, when you're playing, you never really have to remove your thumbs from the joysticks. They will always stay here because you have control of these buttons through the back buttons. And with this controller, it solves the problem because you control everything through these fingers and your joysticks. So the idea is you're using these 3 fingers like this, and then these 2 fingers to use the top buttons like this. But you could use it as a preference. You could also use these buttons like this. I usually play with these 2 buttons here, and my pinkies, when I need to reach it, I go like that. So the way mapping works on this controller is you're going to hold the L1, R1, the right and the square at the same time. And that lit up, that means it's in a mapping mode. So for this button, let's map the upwards D-pad. And now that's mapped. So you would go into the map mode again, and you would map this one to down. And now that's mapped. And then you would do the same for the rest of the buttons. And if we go to the controller demo, we could check to see that this button is now upward D-pad and this one is downward D-pad. So the way I map this controller is these 2 buttons on the top row I will use as 0 and X, and these are the buttons I'm using the most in the game. It's for slide canceling, jumping, and crouching. So these are the buttons that are the most easiest for me to access. Then for the middle row, I will map these as triangle and square. And this is for changing weapons and putting on my armor and so forth for Call of Duty. So these are the second primary row I would call. And then the third row I will map for pinning and changing my tacticals. Now these 2 buttons I would say are reserved. I don't use them as of now, but I think maybe in other games they will be useful. With Black Ops 6 new movement mechanisms, this will help you a lot to move around the map much quicker and do all those crazy jumps and slide cancels. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you got to learn a little bit about Get a Grip Gaming and the Ocha Pro controller. I didn't know anything about it until I reached out to this company. They sent me this controller to do a review on it. Now this review is not biased, not sponsored by this company, but they did send me this controller that I built and told me to give them a review about it. From my experience, I wasn't told to say anything specific, only what I thought about it. And my honest review is that this is probably the best controller that I've used for the PlayStation 5. As far as the responsiveness, the joysticks, Hall effect, triggers, everything about this controller I think is great. And the company is still coming out with new features to add on to the lineup of the Ocha Pro controller. As I said, if you're interested in it, go ahead and check out the link. I'm going to leave the affiliated link on there. You could get it directly from their website. And as I said, they are made in the US, so you should get your controller pretty quick. If you have a friend that's a gamer and you're looking for a Christmas gift for them, I don't think they will be disappointed if they get one of these in their hand. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Happy holidays. I'll see you next time.